Hey guys, welcome back to the Slice&Dice podcast. I'm Jono.
And I'm Sam.
And currently, Phil is not with us at the moment. We've decided to bring a guest onto the podcast this time round. Welcome Alfie, the Mog Shadbolt.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we've been in discussion with getting someone onto the podcast for a while, and we're very happy to have Alfie on board. So
Yeah. You might have heard of him.
You may have
Finished. What was it? 16th.
Top 16.
Yeah, top 16.
Yeah, you had your one of your games on stream on the Winter Cup Cardiff 2024, because even though it's this side of 2025, we didn't have one last year. So yeah. And how did that feel being on stream, by the way? First time on stream, or?
Yeah, it was first time on stream. I've had my games recorded before, but never like live. I was a little bit anxious because I've seen stream chats before, and people tend to be very like, you should have done this rather than, oh, you've done this well, which is like everyone's like that online.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit anxious it would be like that, but I was trying to just focus on my game rather than what other people thought of my game. And then I could look at the stream afterwards to try and make my own notes, which I haven't done.
Yeah, that's good. Good shout.
So yeah, I wasn't too worried about it once I was sat there. But before, once I'd been called up, I was a bit like, shook a bit.
yeah, absolutely. Getting that call to go, and you're on stream. It's always got to prep your mindset.
You did seem to maintain your composure. Like, you didn't do anything as weird as some of the stuff I pulled out on Cactumania. I was doing some big misplays. I was pretty. You were like playing quickly and just like broadly good in your game on stream. So you've got nothing to be upset about. So
Winter Cup has obviously come and gone this side of Christmas this time round, and it was 92 people, 91 people.
Good turnout.
So pretty big crowd, and I was asked kindly to judge this time, so I obviously had the flip side of playing rather than so I got to see the other side of things and how things worked on that side as well, which was good fun.
Pretty cool.
So
I couldn't make it because I was sunning it up in Tenerife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lying around like a lizard in the sun. Really good. I got back here yesterday, and today's been brutal. I've just been like, I've had such a weird mood. I need that sunshine back.
I remember you telling me that you were sad you couldn't make Winter Cup because you were going to Tenerife, and I was just like, this is sounds like not an issue.
It's a definitely first world problem.
Saddest problem to have.
I said that to my missus, and she was like, and what's he complaining about? What is there to complain about?
I can't complain, can I?
But at the same time,
I wanted to bring the belt, the Cactumania belt.
To be fair, because obviously they said that they'll give you.
They did.
They give you free entry.
Me a free ticket.
I was like, does he get his playmat? I don't know if that's coming your way.
Doubt it.
Very much doubt it. But no, it was definitely a different vibe because obviously we've been to a Winter Cup without me once.
Yeah.
So it was very different to go to a Winter Cup without you.
Yeah.
But I suppose the judging side of it took that edge off. You know what I mean? Because
you have quite a different experience already if you're a judge.
Absolutely. But it sounds like you had a beautiful time. And,
it was great. It was just really chill, super chill, relaxing.
It's kind of what you need this time of year, right?
Yeah, load of people, Airbnb, just friendly times. Yeah.
Good. It's good. Yeah, we didn't stay Airbnb this time. We followed Phil's recommendation of the Zip Premier Inn hotel, which was actually not too bad, to be fair.
Yeah, it was fine.
You've even had games going up on YouTube, Zip Sessions. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out, is that Basingstoke?
Basingstoke, Basingstoke guys.
TCG, tattoos and trading cards.
Yeah. Basingstoke Bahamut's is, I think, the team name. So
we'd love to see new content coming into the little FFTCG
new community. Scene. No, it's really nice.
Matt's great as well. Who's running it? He was playing against Lyndon's Hithdeus deck in the hotel and was just like, what's going on, because he'd never seen the deck before.
Yeah.
It was just turn 2 and Lyndon had got out like 9 forwards or something. Matt was just sat there like, what's going on?
Yeah, what's happening?
You might as well put your hand down and wait.
That's a weird deck. I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Definitely. And they were very they were lovely people for one. The Basingstoke guys were lovely people. So if you guys can make your way down to their tournament that they're running on the 3rd of May, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Basingstoke Brawl.
I'm thinking of going if I
I would
can.
like to go.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. They're a lovely bunch of guys, and but they were. What surprised me the most is that they were all mono ice players.
Yeah.
Well, for the majority of them, they're all mono ice players. It's like, they've got something going here. But yeah,
Cool to see ice coming back into the meta a little
I'm
bit.
loving it.
Absolutely. I think yeah, from playing against some of their games as well, it's like I'm not sure what if there was two Matts. One Matt is the owner of or the organizer of everything, and and the other Matt, who was a player, I played against him a couple of times, and he'd sort of like tailored his mono ice deck to not being so sort of like meta fronted and stuff like that, but it was like he'd been curating this, and it was so nice to be able to see someone do. It got quite far. I think they got top 22.
Nice.
And yeah,
Respectable.
it was good. It was really nice nice.
It was really refreshing to play against mono ice and not see Clive, Ifrit, Jill.
Yeah, Ice Primes. Yeah, different
ice
different
primes
style.
everywhere. At the minute, if you see mono ice, like it's just almost guaranteed the primals are going to be in there. And I was playing against one that didn't, and it was so nice.
Get the doggo on the back line.
Well, yeah, Lyndon did well.
Yeah.
In Winter Cup.
On
And
mono
he
ice.
was on mono ice with no
Yeah.
Clive. He had 3 Une.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing Une get top 16 is... Ooh, but we knew, I mean, he's a great player. He's been a runner-up at Nationals in the past, in 2019.
Yeah.
Like, been a good player for a long time. Been a good player longer than any of us.
Yeah.
So shout out to Lyndon. And he always makes really interesting decks, really weird.
Great.
Weird but fun.
He's probably been shouted out on this before for helping out with community and in his producing of many said decks, and weird and wonderful decks to help the community out. So yeah.
I guess we should shout out the last top cut from Slice&Dice gets in there. Sean got in top 16 as well, right?
Yeah, Sean got.
Was it top 32?
You got
top 22.
22.
Cut off.
So what was really nice about this event was
Yeah.
that Alec had decided that anyone who got X2
Yeah.
made the top 22.
Yeah.
So it
I
was,
heard that. Yeah.
what I've forgotten the terminology that he used to call it, but it was there was a certain terminology.
You just get past a certain post.
Yeah, if everyone who got X22 made it to the top 20.
X22.
Sorry, X2 made it to top 22. Fucking hell, that'll be a long day. Yeah.
I've won one and lost 22.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, that was really nice to be able to see, rather than doing what's it called when your flip sides of the markings.
Yeah, like getting a good record, but being like, I might still not make it.
Yeah,
and you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very nice and decisive, and yeah, Sean made it into top 22.
Nice.
So yeah, it was good.
He played on stream as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He played.
I don't think I saw that one.
I've forgotten
Or
who
only
he played.
briefly.
I won't say it was a Knights player he was against, but I could be wrong.
I think he said he was like, he'd worked out some tech after he'd finished
Yeah.
that was like way better. So
Yeah.
That's strange.
Was it
But he
not
was on
Rocky?
his Kirin deck.
He was
so
on Kirin.
Shout, like, still keeping
no.
that relevant.
It wasn't on Kieran.
Or was there no
Yeah,
Kirin?
No, it wasn't on Kieran. It was
Oh
on
yeah, no,
Mono
you're
Earth.
right. Yeah. What am I saying? What
He-
am I talking about?
He did go on Kieran for some side events, but yeah, he went mono earth.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
nice fresh sort of take for Sean,
Yeah.
because
Well, I guess he's expecting to see a lot of mono water.
yeah.
Which
He was very proud to play backups. He was like, "What are these? I've got these things on the back line." Yeah, it was good. No, it was nice to see people be a bit more refreshed as well.
Yeah. But I was super happy with Alfie's performance because like we'd been working together a lot, like working on mono water, just like getting the plays spot on. So
Yeah.
I was like super supporting. I think I was there in the chat sometimes. So
Yeah,
super psyched about that.
definitely. And
Nice.
I went to Zav, if anyone knows Xavier from Leeds.
Yeah. I mean that's
I-
the guy I went to try and get
This
good
is
on
what I
mono
said
water.
to him.
Yeah.
This is what I said to him. I said, I'm blaming you for the mono water wipeout
Yeah.
that we're having in Dice Cup. And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, blah 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 blah. Sam got to you know, and
Yeah.
you've been inspired. Everyone's been inspired by your performance at Captamania, I suppose.
Is there anyone at our locals apart from me and you who are actually actively playing Mono Water at the minute?
So
I know people have it built, but
like Frenchie plays it like a bit, maybe one set ago.
James Rylett has been.
Oh yeah, James Rylett.
yeah.
He's kind of a local, but he's from Leeds. But
Yeah.
he played it at Winter Cup, right?
Yes, he did.
But he couldn't quite. I think he couldn't quite get there with it. Struggled with the plays and stuff. But shout out to him. He's the cube draft king. He's still won the most on my pauper cube.
Yeah.
He had some really unlucky games from what it sounded like talking to him. Like he had 2 or 3 double losses, like something insane like that.
So rough.
And
Three.
Three.
Mono Water's really hard to play fast. So
Yeah, it was
that's one of the things I was impressed with you about. You playing quickly, like no problem.
You've got to also understand the matchups that you come across as well. Like, it's matchup
Yes.
dependent. You've got to know.
Experience
do I play quick now? Playing into knights, for example, anything aggro. Do I play quick now? Get these things out to protect the board, or can I take my time?
Yeah.
It's matchup dependent. Honestly.
I feel like when it comes to that tournament level of play where you're like, oh, I'm either know the matchup because I've played it enough times.
Yeah.
Usually just like twice is enough, or I know all the cards in the game well enough that I can kind of just imagine what the deck's doing just by seeing the cards.
Yeah.
And then adapting quickly. And like, I don't think I'm quite at that level, that second level, but like I think like most top players are doing quite a bit of practice, I would say. But it does feel like if you know all the cards in the game pretty well, that helps you a lot.
Yeah,
of
course.
Don't get me started on Knights and Winter Cup. that unlucky DQ from round 1 of day 2.
Oh god, yeah. Alfie got repaired, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I got repaired. What happened was
You got a free win,
I
which
got
you
a
can't
free win,
complain
which I
about.
can't complain about. Right. But
That was your knights match, right?
yeah, Steve D had figured out what I'd be playing round 1 of day 2. He did all the brackets at the end of day 1.
Yep.
And it was knights. So Steve was staying in the same hotel as us. So we went back to the hotel and he very kindly offered to give me some games on Knights and Mono Water so that I could have practice basically.
Yeah.
And we played...
Big up Steve D.
Yeah, big up
man of the
Steve D.
people.
We played maybe about 4 hours of practice games on Mono Water against Knights.
Yeah.
And then day 2 rolls around and my opponent gets a DQ for having an incorrect deck list because he like misnumbered some LB cards. Like
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if I heard correctly, they're going to try and work on pushing for maybe printed lists maybe instead.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
I've said this, and this may be a brave take because I know a lot of people do write their lists, but personally I can't see myself ever writing out a deck list because it just leaves too much room for error. Like if I had written out my deck list and got it wrong and then that causes me to get knocked out of Top Cut, I'd be heartbroken. So in my opinion, it's not even worth the risk of writing it out.
Yeah.
I would just print it out every time.
I think obviously the counterpoint would be people don't always have an access to a printer these days, but I think big tourneys, they should allow people to send their URLs from that FFX, and then you just have a TO there printing the deck list.
Absolutely. I think there is, it has been one of those things in contention for a while about handwritten, because obviously you've got to then take into account people's, like mine.
Oh yeah, my handwriting,
dyslexia as well.
Yeah.
Like misreading.
My handwriting's atrocious.
Is your neurodivergence is coming out strong when you're writing a deck list.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much room for human error. You can misspell things, or your handwriting's not good enough for it to be read. So,
imagine if you got DQ'd for misspelling Cuculate the Impure. Like,
yeah, such a long name.
Or Leviathan, Lord of the Wall.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how things get progressed and moving forward in that sort of realm of things. But yeah, you got DQ'd. Oh, you got a guy DQ, and it was not the pairing.
Well, he didn't get a guy.
No.
DQ'd.
You didn't.
I didn't shock anyone.
You're the one who ran over like, fuck this list. Yeah, so you were preparing, and Steve helped you to get this to beat Knights effectively.
Yeah.
And then you got repaired.
He got DQ'd.
You got DQ. Oh no, you got. That's right.
The
But
repair is a different story.
The repair is a different story. Gotcha. So you
okay.
you actually got the free win from the DQ, obviously.
Yeah,
So you got
16.
that's how you got into top 16. And
Yeah.
then what were you meant to be paired against in top 16?
I was supposed to be paired against Mono Water. We'd sat down. We were like drawing starting hands, and Mono Water Mirror is way more comfortable than Refia, which is what I ended up getting paired against because no one at our locals plays Refia apart from Sparky, and he isn't down every week, so it's not a deck I've played against much.
And he was playing Mono Fire last time he was there.
Just at events. So it's not one I've got experience against anyway, and it's a deck I've never played against on Mono Water. So Mono Water Mirror was one of 2 games I lost on day 1, so I was slightly anxious going into it off the back of that. But even so, it's still much more comfortable than Refia for me.
You still had the experience, you know.
So once we're like basically started playing and then we get repaired into a deck I've never played against on Water, I was a bit tilted, to be honest.
You didn't play badly though.
I know, but
yeah,
I
think when you go into a situation you don't mentally feel prepared for, it throws everything else.
Oh yeah, it's really
so
rough.
I completely empathise and sympathise with that completely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he had his 2 missed dragons whenever he needed them when he was playing you.
Brocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got countless notes on me and Brocky's games.
And like, yeah, he just all of the like small chance things that could go in different ways, it never really slid in your direction, especially the first game where everything went against you. So
like
that's
I said,
rough.
I've got lots of notes. I'm happy to send the list and it can get linked maybe, but I think
it's like you could make small improvements, but it's hard when you've got no experience.
There were so many micro decisions in me and Brocky's games which ended up being really impactful, or like Sam said, not to take anything away from Brocky, brilliant player, but just like crazy luck that he had, which just like completely swept me away. It's like the biggest one I can think of, which maybe wasn't that much of a change, but once he'd hit 5 backups, he only hit backups into damage, which meant he was getting no dead draws, which was just like
pure gas.
how are you doing this?
Yeah, and I think weren't some of those backups were EXs as well, like Tyro and.
Well, like in that game 1, he played Bash to search, taking damage, and then the damage
Tyro.
was a King Tycoon to search. I was like,
that feels amazing when you do it, but that hurts a lot.
Infinite value on this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you're taking notes, because like when you're in those games where you feel like things didn't go your way, I feel like the note of a good player and an average player is like the good player just focuses on what they could have done, and an average player spends the whole time going like, that was bad luck, there's nothing I could have done. And I think if you always focus on what you can control, it's the best way to get better at the game.
And this is the thing, isn't it? Because like, it was a joke initially from Kinney, from Sparky, about we only take the only L we take is learning.
Yeah.
And yet,
hey, it's a great motto. Really good motto.
I feel like we need to keep that, because I've used that in a couple of scenarios of like, I think I did it. I said to Nate, you know, we own the only experience that you get in these games is, or the best experience that you can get in these games is remembering how these certain scenarios played out and moving forwards, how you can deal with them in the future.
Yeah.
And that's the best sort of, like, I never went to any tournament going, I've got it. You know, I've got it in the bag. You know, I was never overconfident enough to feel like that. I would actually.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I've never been to a tournament like that.
No, I'm not saying anyone has, but some people might. I don't know, but like.
Yeah, if you're like JFB, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. You've done it before, I suppose. Yeah. But I feel like I've always gone with, no, this is going to be a day or a weekend of me learning. You know, and I've always done that, and I kind of feel like that's what I would have done if I played. Because I was umming and ahhing between what deck to play. I was going, do I go Old Faithful with Warriors? Maybe a bit of a different take on Warriors, being that it was Ice Fire. But I was also feeling like... Hey? Meme, yeah. yeah. The meme,
Alfie's not impressed with Ice Fire Warrior.
I despise the deck.
It's good. I have ripped it apart, but it's still good. But yeah, the idea of going with something that was good and trusted, and I knew exactly the plays, but then my thoughts was, if I did really badly on it, if I didn't do as well as I'd hoped, would that be an effect? Like, would I walk away thinking about whether I'm actually a good player or not? because like I'm like I should know the lines of the play. Obviously, it's matchup dependent as well again, and all that sort of stuff. So could my luck be on that side of things, or that's
I think if you went with mono wind, even if you didn't place ahead of like somewhere you'd placed previously, it still means you've improved as a player.
But that's
it would
what
have
I'm
been
saying.
Such a broad choice.
I was just
You
about
said
to
in
go
the
into
car on the way back though that you think if you took mono wind to that room specifically, you would have been slaughtered.
now looking back on if I because going into the tournament before I sort of made any formal decisions, you'd suggested mono wind. I was like, nah, don't be stupid. But then I actually really thought about it, and I was like, no, actually, it would if I spent a whole weekend playing mono wind, or at least a 7-round tournament playing mono wind against heavy players who want to try and get to the top and all that sort of stuff with their sweaty decks, I could play a room that's working out well for my learning and understanding. So I was like that. I feel comfortable spending a day on mono wind and coming away with something that's more valuable to me. I think.
Yeah, exactly. And you just learn so much as a player.
But
What do you think like the percentages were of like turbo aggro decks?
Oh,
so, like,
gosh.
Chaos and Knights.
Mainly?
I'm saying.
Well, you think it's over 50%?
Well,
like,
if you're looking, if I'm as I was walking around the room, the turbo aggro decks that we've got, and I can't say turbo aggro. We've only got 2 turbo aggro decks really in the meta, which is Knights, and extra turbo is Chaos. 7 wall I can't say is turbo or aggro in a lot of sense, because they can be played in a lot of more mid-range tempo sort of fashion. But there was still heavy 7 wall representation.
7 wall is definitely like a tempo deck at least.
I think the sort of the aggression of the room was definitely up there.
I think wind doesn't care about wall 7 though, right?
No, there's things.
The point of the Belgamine build is to try and win those turbo aggro games, right? Wing Wraith.
Wing Wraith.
Wing Wraith. The only problem is you need to, if they've got like a Ramza set up to kill something, they can interrupt Belgamine quite easily there.
Yeah, I mean, there's good stacking going on with Belgamine, because even in any interruption, especially, I think the problem would be if you were to Wing Wraith, and Wing Wraith. Oh my god, that word, that name's
Sorry,
terrible.
I couldn't help myself.
That's a terrible name. So the Wing Wraith is basically, you want to interrupt it on the search. Because then you can't continue doing what you need to do with Belgamine. But she's so cheap and so affordable to be able to break and kill quite a few things. Bottom deck a few things. It was the strat that I had going in. It was very much a Steve D build. And I thought that looked more interesting than standard Alex Hancock's build. And being the judge and overlooking the tables, I was like, I'm so glad I didn't do what I did, because I think my day would have been a fucking learning day. It would have been a day of don't bring mono wind again. I think
it's really interesting to think about where things like mono wind stand in the meta, because it's such a skill intensive deck that most players can't make a fair judgment of where it sits. Like, obviously no one's perfect at the game, but if you did have like perfect AIs that played the decks and you could like suss out the true meta, I guess. But that's what I love about FFTCG, is like there's such a skill expression going on that deck choice, you don't get these tier 0 tournaments where everyone's on the same deck.
Looking at Top Cut, I just had a look because the list got released for top 16 today. There was 3 like control-y lists. There was 2 mono water, me and Kagiri. And there was 1 Refugee control, which was Brocky.
Only 1.
Yeah, there was loads of 4-wall, but it was mainly just like your standard 4-wall, not Refugee control. It was mainly mid-range. There was 2 mono ice, loads of like regular 4-wall, and then there was loads of chaos, loads of knights. There was like 4 knights that made top 16.
Jesus, that's crazy.
There was
7-wall. Was there.
Yeah, I think from the room, it was very heavily into the sort of Knights and Chaos lists.
I do wonder what Wind does against Knights.
Yeah.
Like Knights seems like the best deck against Wind.
I've played against it a lot online
Yeah.
because of the infamous Octagon Wind cult,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I believe exists. Yeah, I think it's mainly in Knight's favour a lot of the time. A lot of those games I've won.
Yeah.
I've not played it in person a lot.
Yeah.
So
I just don't see what Wind does, because if they get their Laswell play,
Yeah.
because Wind wants 2 or 3 backups to get going.
Yeah.
the one time I played against Wind in person was the Wind Ice Storm deck that I beat in Norwich that LBB was playing. And that was like a pretty... Like, it wasn't really difficult, but it also wasn't really easy.
Yeah.
I was fairly comfortable for most of it, but there was definitely times where I had to really think.
Yeah. I mean, the difference between Mono Wind and Ice Wind is that you've got Locke and Sid Hayes that are going to dull down your things, and that is a bit more removal, a couple of turns removal. You know what I mean? It's not. It's stopping you, especially Knights. Slowing
Locke
Knights.
6 and above cards, or is it 5
correct,
and above? Okay, 6.
How does Sid Hayes read? Because I remember him going down in my game against Lewis, but I can't really remember him being that impactful.
So basically, at the beginning of your attack phase, if he's been the third, if there's 3 cards cast that turn, don't unfreeze 2 characters, and then also when he enters the field, reduce the cost of something by 2. Your next cast.
So if he gets to the attack phase, you get the dull freeze.
Yes.
And then you're always going to get the reduction unless it gets amatted.
And also
This is a really good card.
The nice thing about him in our Storm deck was that reducing the next cast by 2 made made your cast count much quicker to get to. Because you could play Zidane for free, for example, or you could play a 2 CP backup or
Atmos.
Atmos.
Anything, yeah.
So I think in a mono wind Knights matchup, you would be looking to go for the Belgamine possible play.
If they're a smart Knights player, they leave Ramza and 3 Knights open like most of the time.
Yeah, of course.
And just kill Belgamine whenever she appears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is like, oof, that's a hard... And like a lot of Wind's removal is based on having characters too. Yeah. So I just don't know how Wind can stand up to that deck.
Yeah, I feel... I'm pretty sure Hancock's and... all the mono win players like Dan Preston.
Yeah.
Is it Dan Preston?
From Cactuars, is it?
No, not Dan. I'm thinking of the wrong one. No, it's Dan from Huddersfield, Leeds direction.
Okay.
He's come down to our store champs before.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, tall dude.
Yeah. I don't know if his
He was
surname's
playing
Preston.
mono with that Winter Cup.
He's a renowned Storm player, and he's very good on his Storm decks.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they could tell you much better than I can, or we can, I suppose, on what those sorts of matchups look like.
One thing I have seen that's possible was Alex Hancock's managing a Luso 7 cast off no backups back
Worlds.
in the day.
Yeah, that was in a Worlds tournament.
Well, I remember seeing it at Glasgow Winter Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did it in Worlds as well.
He definitely did like a turn 2 Laswell.
That like Izana Lulu shenanigans.
Yeah. Interestingly, Nate's our new person who's joined. They really are interested in doing mono wind. So
are they? Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, shout out to them as well, because they went positive at Winter Cup, didn't they? Or did they go even?
They went. They went.
Never even playing the game
even,
like.
I think they went 3. I think they went 3-4 actually. And
all right, still amazing for your first Winter Cup. And how long have they been playing?
Only 2 months.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Went on Magissa, and they were very happy with the matches they had.
Yeah.
And obviously coming away from that, we had a big long chat about what's possible for them next. And
nice.
We ran into them at that service station.
Yeah, we bumped into them on the way back. Like,
oh, cool.
We're like 2 hours from Cardiff, nearly an hour and a half from home, and as we're walking through, there they are. I was just like, we sat down, had a meal, and chatted about how the weekend's been for them, and they definitely appreciated
That's so great. And they're even bringing new players to our Learn to Play events a little bit and stuff. So really enjoying the community growing like that.
Absolutely. And we need, I think the assessment that you've made, Alfie, around like how well our community over here in Nottingham is doing compared to, say, like others for new players, or mean more not how well we're doing. That's probably the wrong term, but like how easily accessible we make it for new players over here.
James Duff's words were, "Slice and Dice is the place to be for a new player."
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good
I
praise.
could agree with that.
Good praise from a great player.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
A fun cube guy. I appreciate the cubers out there.
Yeah, he kindly gave over his cube to
Sarah.
the side events for
Nice.
day 2.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But just going back to Nate, they said that they were very interested, but didn't know how the deck sort of ran. It was because it is definitely a different playstyle to any other deck that you can think of in FFTCG.
Yeah.
Storming is a archetype on its own, right?
Yeah.
So when you're saying the whole Luso Izana, Izana, get Chocobo for Lulu and all that sort of shenanigans, it's crazy how quickly that sort of like the cast count can ramp up, and it's down to your opponent to interrupt that. In some ways.
At the right time, which is very hard to play against.
So good luck to Nate on trying to learn Storm.
Well, very different kind of deck, but I mean, I've gone from Knights to Mono Water, so it's possible.
It is definitely.
There you go.
Broadening your horizons is definitely fun in this game.
So while we're on Winter Cup, why don't we talk about Jonathan Ho's winning deck list?
Yeah. I mean,
and performance too.
The congrats to Jonathan Ho, Kigiri. He obviously took the title away from Brocky. Commiserations, Brocky, because I had a chat with him afterwards. Before we get to Jonathan Ho, I had a chat with him afterwards, and he said like there was nothing he could really do. All the answers were handed to him at the right, like to Kigiri at the right time. For anything that he played down, it was just immediately countered. I
do think it's super interesting, the Dion Bahamut stuff.
Definitely. And he said
I might have to have a little go on that bill.
John said that it was it's been almost like the perfect combination for him with Mono Water, because I think a lot of us saw the Mono Water sort of matchup, I suppose, or deck it slid into is kind of suited for Dion Bahamut.
Yeah, because you got the best access to filter cards, right?
Correct.
So he's running Artemisian. He ran two Lockbrits and one Astrologian. So
he felt it was the best way of dealing with aggro, in a lot of ways. It did get me thinking, why not, if you wanted to deal with aggro, why not Shinryu? Like, because Shinryu is good old faithful board wiping. Yeah, but then
a lot of people were saying that's clunky, and it is just that, like, if your opponent doesn't play a wide board, it's kind of pants. And again, in the mirror, it's probably good as well. Dion Bahamut.
Too expensive for like a 3 board.
Because Dion reads what you do. You pay 3 for him.
Yeah.
And then pay 3 to prime.
Yeah. He draws.
Then you draw.
Draw.
And then you get to kill 2 things. Up to 2 as well. Importantly, because I had to go read the card. Because if it says kill 2, that just makes it infinitely worse. Because if you can get rid of 1 target, fizzle the whole effect. But up to 2, that's primo. You can still kill 1.
Dion draws a card. He's got a home in Mono Water.
Exactly. It's actually, it's not a break effect, is it? It's 9k. Deal 9k to 2 things. Correct.
Is that true?
I don't know if that's.
I'll have
Yeah.
a
I wasn't sure if it's break 2 things or.
And then the S ability is choose a forward, it loses all of its abilities, and then break it. I think the break it comes, in my head I was thinking it's the special. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right in terms of dealing with aggro, or not aggro, but like a lot of board states now, if they're not knights, they don't tend to ramp to like a full board state too quickly. I mean, the most that Chaos is going to get to in a quick succession is 3.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get your Chaos, and then you're going to get Fujin and Raijin out but they
Oh,
don't.
so that Dion Bahamut's going to be really good against Chaos.
Well, exactly.
I get
think
to do Phil's job of reading out the card. He always seems to do this on podcasts.
Go on, then.
Nice.
Bahamut reads, he is 10k, he's a 4 cost, he's got Brave, and he says, when Dion primes into Bahamut 16, choose up to 2 forwards, deal them 9,000 damage.
There you go.
It has an S ability, which is choose 1 forward, it loses all its abilities until the end of turn, break it.
Yeah, nice,
yeah,
nice.
that's kind of how I remembered it. And so
Yeah.
Dion also reads when Dion or another card or character primes, you draw a card.
Yeah, he wasn't running any other primes, so he wouldn't have taken full
no.
advantage of that particular effect.
But still,
One card.
yeah, I think
you're priming for 1 CP effectively.
one thing that card reminds me of a little bit is 5 Yuna, because you've got this very cheap S ability to kill things.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think Jonathan Ho must have been like waiting for decks to get to their flood state board with like, a bunch of Dions and Bahamuts in his hand, which I did see him do. And that you don't get much better removals than discard a card.
Discard a card, break something, but also like it doesn't fizzle like. Cuchulainn on a stick is good, right? Like we appreciate the right timing for Cuchulainns, right? But you're blanking stuff, not blanking, but like removing text from a card before it hits the break zone for break zone effects is probably the main win of that special, right?
I think that's like icing on the cake. I think it's only relevant probably like 10% of the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think you're appreciating the break effect more than you are the blanking effect.
Yeah.
Unless it's something that you know would be worth blanking. But it's a hit and miss, because obviously you would choose to Cuchulainn it, right? If you want to keep it on the field so your opponent doesn't play another, or that sort of thing.
Depends on the situation, yeah. But, I
Definitely
mean, you're already in a deck with Cuchulainn, right? So
exactly, you've got the option.
yeah.
Do you want card draw, or do you want to break something?
Huge shout out to Jonathan as well, by the way. When I put my notes up of my games against Brocky, he commented asking for my deck list, so I sent it him and sent him a friend request, and then he DM'd me with like thousands of words of notes on my games after he'd watched the streams, and they were really helpful and just like generally chatting about the weekend.
He's a really nice guy.
He is, yeah, and he's very interactive. Like he engages with the community a lot.
It's funny because I turned around when he was in top 16. I turned around and I saw he was playing against. I can't remember who he was playing against, but I saw him literally. He must have had a rough night the night before or something, because he was like resting against with his hood over his head, like completely.
I've seen him do that exact pose before.
He was ill that weekend.
Was he?
Was he ill?
No.
So going to Winter Cup ill and then winning is like.
That's crazy,
mate. I think it was definitely a good vibe on the weekend in some respects. As I say, the whole sense of the room did feel a bit off at times, because going around collecting slips, I was collecting so many 7-0s. It was ridiculous. I was like, 7-0, yeah, 7-0, yeah. It was like, I think I picked up five slips in the first 5 minutes.
Well, another tournament in England where mono water seems like the pick.
Yeah, I was speaking to Steve D before Winter Cup, because I was kind of undecided between mono water and Knights. So I went to him as like probably the best deck builder in the UK, and went which one basically, and he said that he thinks they were both good choices because they're probably the most consistent aggro deck, the most consistent control deck, but he said that he thought mono water is easily the best pick for Winter Cup because it's got no natural predators, and looking at what the Cactuars play on their streams, if I get paired against any Cactuars, I'm in a pretty happy place.
Yeah. I think
mono water's pretty good at beating Cactuar players.
Steve's deck choices, though, have to
No
talk
shade.
about that.
No shade.
I have to talk about how he did it. He wrote out 3 lists and then took them to Gareth, who owns Firestorm, and got him to just pick one at random, and then that's what he played.
That turned out to be Hythlodaeus, and I think I was stood right next to him on his first game.
I guess that's kind of a turbo aggro deck in a weird way.
Yeah. Well, I felt really sorry for him on his very first game, because I was stood there, and I don't know if he wants me to shout this out, but it was very much, he went second, played a backup, and lost.
I've heard this. Turbo Chaos.
Turbo Chaos, basically, yeah. Turbo, like, it's how the game goes, right? He didn't even get a chance to play it. It was that sort of a
well,
game.
this is the like, I think this is the only. I'm kind of jumping ahead to a different discussion.
Go for it.
But, I mean, decks like this that can win in 1 or 2 turns, you wonder if they're up for the like salty, unfun factor.
Yeah.
Ban.
But fun is very subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think there's more people who don't like.
Of course.
Having no decisions than people who love just killing people.
I definitely got
2 turns.
that. I definitely got that general vibe from the weekend. Actually, going around, doing the judging stuff and calling time on rounds, and then people having like double losses, or there was like 3 or 4 double losses for, as I say, James, and then obviously people walking away or scooping very quickly in a chaos matchup.
Yeah.
It was very. It wasn't necessarily the most. It didn't feel like the standard, joyful, very calm vibes of Winter Cup.
Yeah. Should we have that as a little bridge into the next topic?
Before we move on,
go on.
I have to bring up this excellent picture I got of Brocky and Jonathan Ho playing.
Yeah.
I'll show you 2 now and I'll describe it. In the middle is those 2 playing.
Yep.
And sat around them is all of the judges, and at the back you have Steve D looming over, watching the game. He looks menacing.
we shared that on the Slice&Dice Facebook page.
I sent that image to Jonathan Ho, and his response was, "Lol, Jesus, I looked fucked there too."
Yeah, I think in general the pressure, well, not pressure, that's not the word, but like the energy at the end felt good. Like everyone was like,
Oh, someone's got to tell me about how these side events went. Is there any stories from Commons event?
Commons event. This is how it was. Like, it was nice that there was one side event that was the main side event, and that was standard teams, right?
Yeah.
Good number of teams. We had 12 teams involved, so 12 times 3. Players, and
36.
Then they went Commons and Cube for the other side events, and there was probably about, from what I saw, about 10 players on the Commons. And then a few more, obviously about 8 on the Cube.
Yeah.
But those events weren't paid events; they were free events, and they were community run events. So Phil kindly gave Remy from YYT his laptop, so they could help run
cool
the
Commons.
Run the tournament, and then Sarah from YYT also ran the Cube. But it was. Square Enix was able to provide pricing for that, support for it. So they came away with like a Cat Sith or a plush Cat Sith, and then the winner won like I don't know what it was, like Zack statue from.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. So it was a really, really fun event, and I think Paul McAvoy came away with the win for Commons side event.
Yeah, it sounded like a really close one.
Yes.
Remy came second.
McAvoy on mannequins. I'm surprised. It's not been buffed, has it? There's no new mannequin support.
I don't think so. I think it's probably using all traditional mannequins, I suppose.
On the topic of deck choice, I'm going to bring some heat into the room. If I took the deck that I borrowed from you to that event, I would have gotten absolutely slaughtered.
Well, if you played it well.
If I played it well, I still would have gotten slaughtered. The amount of hyper aggro commons that was there, like Dragoons,
so Von Crystals that also has Salamanders 3.
Yeah.
Do you think that would have been slaughtered in a deck?
Slaughtered in that room.
No, it's the perfect deck in that room, right?
Against like Dragoons, you can just get way too big. That Dragoon who reads like you get plus 20k or whatever, not 20k, 2k for every other Dragoon.
Yeah. That's rough. That's rough if they've got a lot of Dragoon backups because it's a bit harder. But if they just go wide, you kill the weaker Dragoons, and then that guy starts losing power and everything falls down.
I played against James's Dragoon decks in the hotel, playing your Crystal deck.
Yeah.
And he had all Dragoon backups, and I can't remember what his other stuff. He had something which was power boosting his other dragoons, so it meant that I couldn't pick them off easily to power reduce the huge ones, and he just kept swinging at me with these like 9k forwards.
Dragoons are really good in commons. I do agree. Like especially, I think like the Gilgameshers in there. A lot of them are Lightning Wind, aren't they? The common dragoon builds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I would have found it interesting. I think Vaughn can like. If you line it up correctly, you can go like 8k the board, and then 7k the board with Salamander.
It depends on the match,
you know?
But looking over what people were playing at Commons, I don't think that would have done very well.
Yeah, but Mannequins gets murdered by Salamander, so I'm surprised that one.
I gave my Ice Earth Flan deck over to Cade, and he came 2-2. Sorry, because there was only 4 rounds.
Yeah,
and he said there was in the deck that I gave him, there wasn't enough removal, or there wasn't enough EXs, and I was like, well, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
If specifically in those elements in commons to find good EXs.
Yes, in Earth and Ice in commons. Yeah.
But in like if you're playing, if you're playing Earth and Fire and Lightning, then you've got EXs for days.
Yeah.
But still, it's quite fragile on Fire and Lightning in commons.
I don't think it's like top tier because it doesn't have a good enough.
But
forwards.
interestingly, Kageyama played Fire Lightning in
previous years.
Previous year,
he didn't have a good time.
no. That was in the Commons team. But yeah, it was. I think the side events actually went really well. I mean, I kind of took the floor for the standard teams. And I took charge pretty much, and I had that.
That's cool.
Had that moment of like, yeah, I can do that. Like, I feel good in this position. I always do when I do locals, but at the same time, like,
that's a big locals there.
It was, yeah.
36 player.
36 player locals, and then managing tables. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. We're trying to squeeze everyone into one table, and it just wasn't working. Like, it was like three people on a table that could probably only fit 2 aside.
Yeah.
And we're just like, nah, this isn't working, and everyone's complaining. And then James Duff is going around like moving people's table numbers just so they can like. So it was a bit like chaotic at the beginning, but by the end, everyone had a good time, and yeah, we had some good matches, and in that event, because it was a free side event, you could swap decks as well.
Yeah.
So you could just like, if you don't like the deck you're playing one game,
I like it when they allow
you can
that.
swap out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop playing with your toys, Samuel. Making the microphone.
Toys.
Yeah. So it was good.
Going back to Duff, his cube. If you ever see Duff at an event and he's got his cube, secure a place, but don't steal my place, because it is so much fun.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for that. It's so fun.
It's every card in that cube is good.
He had to make Zidane legal though in this one.
Yeah.
Did he? Oh,
yeah, because it was like official. Like, you're trying to make it official.
I remember.
And Brugagine.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I remember Sarah got it passed to her, and she went, "This isn't in my colours. Pick." Because she just didn't want to see anyone else have it. I was so mad I could have run it in mine.
Yeah.
In my draft.
You do hate pick on these things, and I think it's actually good tactics to do so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Someone was getting past like every sign in the cube, so I got past Alizé. Or was it Alizé? I think it might have been Alizé. And I was like, this is way too good for Scion, so I just took it.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not letting them have that.
Like I was saying, every card in that cube is good. Like every single
it's the All-Star cube. Yeah.
Every single new pack we opened, everyone around the table was like, "Yo, this is nuts. There's something in here which is good for my deck," which I think is really good because, like, I don't think this is a problem in your cube, but in cubes I've played before, there's sometimes like you'll get past a pack which is just dog shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have to make a pick, but every single card in there, like every pack I got past, there was a pick. It only when we were towards like the 2 or 3 cards left in a pack where it was like, these aren't that good for me.
I think high power cube is a good experience, like a different experience to like, you know, a low power or a mid power, or like, you know, like when you draft a set, it's kind of mid power, isn't it? You can try and optimize the standard unit that's busted or whatever, but I think if you play a lot of constructed high power cube, you're seeing similar cards to what you would see in constructed.
Yeah.
So if you want something different, you go lower power.
I do find that when I do cube, and I'm not sure if you feel the same, you guys feel the same, but like I feel like I play something that's not me. Like I find a deck that's not my normal play style, or not necessarily more like the elements, the off colors that I probably don't play as much. So I actually find myself drafting Earth quite a lot,
Yeah.
So I feel like I know that Earth's going to be
Yeah.
pretty solid within any sort of color combination, element combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Earth's a great support element, but
Yeah,
it needs something else to.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the side events were good, and we had a pretty good, turnout for all three of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was good. Yeah.
So about that. Oh, we've got more Winter Cup stories.
Got it.
Yeah.
One more thing about cube. There were so many good players at that table. I remember Sarah said it was an all-star cube. There was JFB,
Wow.
Steve D,
Alex Hancock's.
Hancock's wasn't in the one I played, but yes,
Oh, okay.
he did it.
First thing was the first game, right? The first,
Yeah.
because
I think he won the first cube draft. Didn't
yeah. It was sweet because there was enough time through the whole of day 2 Top Cut that they were able to run the events twice. So Commons was run twice, and the Cube was run twice, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
So anyone who got dropped out of top 22 or top 16 was able to jump on those side events.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there massively.
It was like, yeah, it was just so nice. Sarah being like, "Oh, only good players have come to play my cube," and I was like, "Oh,
Yes,
that means-
qualified
that means
good
I
player.
count."
Yeah.
That's
High
cool.
five, yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you top cut an event, you're a good player now.
Yeah.
It was so wholesome. Like my first Winter Cup and then my first Top Cut at an event that size. Just having people who I've spoken to maybe like once
Yeah.
come up to me and go, "You're a good player," and it's like, "Yeah, thank you."
Well,
Feels
I
good,
feel like
feels
a good
good.
player.
Yeah.
I'm
You've
up for
definitely,
this.
you've definitely done something I haven't done yet, so that's that's for sure.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I was so chuffed with the result because we'd trained that so much. But yeah, the bridge over to the other topic.
Yeah, the other topic.
Recently we've had that interesting video released with YYT and Cactuars
we had
teaming up.
we had the crossover.
Steve D and Paul McAvoy
Yeah.
team up, and they were talking about 3 cards they'd ban in each element.
3 cards they ban in each element. Yeah, shout out to these guys because they seem to have put in a lot of effort into thinking about their choices. And
yeah, and we had a thought that we would get involved, have a little idea about the chat. I think personally, if you look at like tournament results, like there are some turbo aggro decks, especially Worlds.
Yeah.
But in general, it is still control decks that are on top at the highest level.
Cool. Yeah, it does seem that way.
And like it was 2 control decks from the winner.
Yes.
Now, it does feel like the bans, the cards that aren't fun are turbo aggro.
Yeah.
So it feels like you can still justify sort of banning something just to keep the play environment healthy, like you were saying about Winter Cup, this like very aggressive room with a lot of salt going around. So that's what I think's interesting, is like this balance between results at the top level and the fun of the game.
Yeah.
Because you can easily make cases for a Chaos ban, a Knights ban, a Hythlodaeus ban. Even though Hythlodaeus doesn't see much play, you're still in that like, I died without doing anything. Factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right, because when you play at whatever place you're at within a tournament, whether it's top tables or you're at the bottom tables, you're going to come across the decks that don't work for you or don't seem to like gel for you. And I think when I was listening to the videos, and I mean, these guys can come and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like their personal feelings in their game so far. Do you know what I mean? So like, I think certain picks that we make are very personal to us.
People get attached to their decks.
Not necessarily more attached to what they don't like to see come down in front of them.
I was just about to say, I feel like the topic of bans is one that I tend to like bow out of a little bit, because I think it's very difficult to be objective when talking about bans. It's very easy to just go, this thing is bad to see if I'm playing this deck, so therefore I want it banned.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be very easy for me to go, I want Multi-Zidane banned because he's like just generally annoying for the decks I like to play. I'd like to see Sid Randell banned because he completely ruins Knights, but it's like, are they really that powerful, or do they just like kind of change how
Yeah.
decks
I think if you're being objective, you can't make a case for banning Sid Randale.
Yeah.
No.
That's just an example.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
You know, the one
Sorry.
card that I would ban, and this is just for personal brain fuckery, is I would ban Kukulain because it fucks with my brain all the time. Like, I'm like stacking Kukulains in any sort of stack war just goes, what? How do where does this go? But yeah, like I think it's the one that's bothered me for the longest. But I know how crucial it is to a lot of gameplays.
I'm literally the born Kukulain fan. I wonder if there's a correlation to you wanting to ban it and me loving that card. So.
yeah. Using it against me because my brain's too slow to pick up where it fits within the stack. But
you're a judge, you're supposed to know that stuff.
Hey, you know, I think I have picked up a few things regarding that card specifically. Over the last,
the potato example.
The potato example is a hell of a lot of fun, and Phil will quote this to anyone he sees because he loves it so much. But it's the whole thing of this card goes on the stack with an ability, but throws the ability up in the air, which is metaphorically a potato. Jumps the potato up in the air. Kukulain shoots the person who threw the potato. Yeah. Not the potato itself. Yeah. And so it's still going to come. The potato's still going to come and land on your head.
So one card I saw discussed that I don't think Paul or Steve wanted banning was Forwall, and it's not going to get banned because it's like on the front cover of the Legacy collection.
Yeah, he's the poster boy for
But it is a card that's like interesting to consider how the meta would shape.
Absolutely.
If you got rid of it, because it hits Gigawall, it hits obviously the 4-wall control decks that are definitely tier 0 at the moment. Like if you Worlds won, like nearly, was in the final at Winter Cup. Yeah, I think it's just a really good deck in my opinion.
I think 4-wall in general to be cheated out. Like you can cheat him out with say 5 CP wins Cecil. Yeah. To be cheated out and be played out from hand is still huge value.
I think what it does even more in the meta is gets put in the break zone.
Yeah, colour fixes for anything.
And makes Gilgamesh mad, like really good, or makes the deck just more consistent because it can get discarded for one of any 4 colours. Yeah,
I think the crazy fact that 7-wall Gigawall. Yeah. Doesn't ever use it and just uses it for specials and puts it in the break zone for Gilgamesh, and the fact that Gilgamesh FFBE hadn't seen hardly any play whatsoever until Gigawall.
I did it before Gigawall.
Yeah. Did you use 4-wall though?
No, I just made a 4-colour deck that was weird and terrible.
Perfect. That's a definite.
Don't know
Sam
if you remember
answer.
it.
That is a Sam answer. No, I actually.
I think I actually at one point had all those FF11 gods, Suzaku, Genbu, all those like EXs. So it was like really EX heavy. I probably had Axstar in there, didn't I? Yeah. Because I was 4-drop Axstar.
Were you only trying to aim for the 5-color, or were you trying to aim for the big 7-color as well? Sorry.
It was I made a deck that was possible to hit the 7 colours with. Yeah. Because you can have like Kadaj as an EX or. Yeah.
But yeah, 4-wall is definitely has to stick around for you said, that necessary evil. In some ways, it's if you can find like the fact that it took a few sets from its release for people to figure out that Leo can just cast it in Mono Earth. It just shows how well the game can evolve and change. Yeah. To suit a card and bring back old cards effectively. Yeah.
So, one other one they touched on was LB Tidus, and I've got to say, I love that card.
Yeah,
I love that card.
I don't think that should get banned.
I had a thought. I wouldn't mind if it got errated to, the kicker has to come from a water source, like it can't be fixed by like. Leo and stuff. Although that really hurts Mono Earth, which is already looking a bit shaky compared to where it was.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But I think that's what people find egregious about it: the fact it's meant to be a good water card, and then it gets just shoved. It's way better in Mono Earth.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So that's an idea, but like it's not a serious suggestion at all.
I think on the topic of 4-wall, I don't see why it should be banned, because it's really good in a niche. If you're playing Refia, then it's really good. If you're playing Mono Earth, it's really good. And you can play like other 4-colour decks, but that's like 3 deck types where it's really good. But the meta is so large where it's like you're taking out the power of 3 decks. It's like it's not that.
Yeah, I think it takes too many control decks out of the meta.
Yeah, the meta representation is obviously there with 4-wall, but it's not like it's in every deck. It's like you could remove. I mean, I don't think this should happen, but for example, banning Amat would affect a lot of decks.
Yeah.
But it would be like a big choice to make. Banning 4-wall, it doesn't really affect that much in terms of like the range of decks it will affect. So I think that's something that needs to get.
Well, it's funny because it does affect 7-wall.
Oh yeah, 7-wall as well. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I think it's interesting to think what the meta would look like if it was gone. But I do think we need some control deck representation ultimately.
This is just me going back to what I said earlier though, of like I think it's easy to choose cards you ban based off just single decks. Like one that got mentioned in the podcast they did is Lastwell, and it's like you can ban Lastwell, but it reduces the power of a single deck. It doesn't really change the meta that much.
It hurts Mono Ice as well.
I suppose it's in Mono Ice, but it's really the home of Lastwell is obviously Knights.
Yeah, and you can hurt Knights without hurting any other decks. So I think those, if you are wanting to target, you've got to just pick a card that doesn't warp the rest of the meta too much. Either that, or you do this crazy like volley of bans.
Yeah, I just personally, I like you touched on, I don't think there's any real tier 0 deck. I think the meta is so diverse that banning cards isn't really that necessary.
Yeah, I think the meta is relatively healthy, I would say. Pretty healthy. I think for me the only cards I would want to see banned are well, not want to so much as I can see the reason, because I'm mainly been a mono water player. I'm not bothered about chaos and knights and stuff, but I can see them making things a bit salty for a lot of players who want a longer game. So you could make a very targeted bans at either of those decks and keep the rest of the meta the same. Like there's so many cards you could choose.
Keep repeating, and like not to take away from their opinions at all, I think they had some really good takes, but I think it's just really easy to focus on putting in bans for a deck that you don't like to play against instead of being subjective. It's a lot easier to go, I don't like Lastwell because he's really good in Knights and I don't like playing against Knights, than it is to go, I want to ban 4-wall because of the XYZ reason.
Yeah. I think, talking about the specific cards that could work with a ban for, say, like Raijin is one of the things that has been discussed over the Winter Cup period, where we were discussing, if you were to ban a card within Chaos, or not ban a card, maybe even limit a card, restrict it down to 1 like we have with Sophie. I mean, that you would say, I think Raijin would be your target, I think, because without it, you're not hasting attackers, right? So if you got rid of Raijin, or even just restricted it to 1, you're less likely to hit fatal, I think, fatal turns. So, yeah, I think in terms of ban sort of listings, I don't feel like the game's going in a way that requires many anytime soon.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, I think as well, the idea that I remember one of them saying about potentially limiting, or not limiting, but like taking a card away for a couple of sets, see how the game changes, and then if it needs reintroducing, so like trialing it or something.
Yeah, like you said before the podcast, like how Magic do it, with taking out cards, and then if it's not really a good choice to ban those cards, they'll bring them back. Like, I think that's fine to do. Yeah. And I think that's probably better than just straight out banning cards and saying we will never see these again.
Well, this is the thing. We don't have rotation in this game. We don't have any set rotation within the game. And obviously we've had L3 and L6. But we haven't had the rotation, so we don't know what it's like to lose some of the crucial sort of staples that we've had from earlier sets. It would be interesting. I would think it would be very interesting to see, where if they did limit something within certain decks, whether that would make it official. Not official. What am I trying to say? Like, it would definitely feel like we can see how things would evolve over time. You know.
I will say though, I think like for me, especially when I first started Final Fantasy, a lot of the appeal for me was that there is no rotation, because like I didn't play Magic super competitively or anything before Final Fantasy, but it was mainly like over the table stuff. But when we did play, we did stick to ban rules, and like having to dump money on keeping my decks updated because crucial cards have just been banned is really painful. So coming to FF and having like, I can build, like, just for an example, the shell of a mono ice deck. I'll never be taking things, well, I will be swapping things out, but there's nothing I'm going to be taking out because it's been banned. I'm just swapping it because it's been upgraded. I think that's, like, for me personally, I much prefer to make changes to decks because they can be made better rather than, this thing's been banned.
Isn't that why most people
feels nicer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that why most people don't appreciate standard or constructed in Magic?
Yeah,
it's because of that swift you're basically spinning on a dime, like to one set to the next, not knowing.
I think it's a bit of a like touchy subject almost for Magic players, because people either love standard or they hate it. Like, if you spoke to your hardcore Commander players about their thought of the standard metagame, they'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But they still put bans into Commander, and like, I don't know if you will have seen, because you're not, like, neither of you really play Magic that much, but they released some bans for Commander recently that like completely, like, not change the meta, because there isn't really a standard like meta for Commander, but there was cards which are like really popular in Commander generally that they banned, and people were really, really not happy about it. So I think banning in general is like, you have to be really careful, because while yes, you may think it is better for the game, if it's something that loads of people love, then, and like they're happy with it, then why change it? Especially when, like, from a collector's point of view, a lot of the cards they banned in the recent Commander bans were like couple £100 cards that they just completely removed. And
people don't like having their assets scrubbed.
Yeah, you just completely bombed the market on this card that was previously like £200 for one copy of it, and then now it's completely dropped.
It is like Asura. Like, one CP Asura is like £25 for a card now, because it needs to be stapled for mono win.
Got a foil of that somewhere.
Yeah.
I need to dig it up.
Lena in itself as a hero.
One CP Asura, the ones from like Opus 4 or something.
Yeah.
Some of those in the community binder that might need to be changed if they're
Opus
that valuable.
2.
Go into the
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't mind people using those sorts of things for building decks that they want to play. I mean, value in a card for community reasons is a bit different, but
I suppose if we have like legends like Raffia in the folder to try and get some money back for the community, stuff like Ashura should probably go in.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because Raffia's a staple. Raffia could go in the staples binder, but
the thought is legends and like money stuff will like sell to our players for cheap, and put the money back into the community.
I don't need Raffia anymore. I bought some of them.
Okay, that's cool.
I opened a foil Raffia.
I opened one from one of my prizing packs after I'd spent £10 on buying one. It might not have been that much. I can't remember.
I definitely had pack luck. Because as a judge, we were
nothing changes for you. You and your pack.
I mean,
I haven't. That draft we did in Huddersfield, you just walked away with like 70 quid's worth of full arts.
Yeah, no, I did. Okay,
That
well,
was
I
crazy.
traded all the full arts that I pulled for the full art cloud promo that came from last Road to Worlds. But yeah, no, I walked away with money after that weekend for sure.
On the topic of Road to Worlds promos, I know I spoke to you about this in the car, but now I'm collecting all my like Moogle full arts. I cannot believe I sold my Chalinka to Sean when I won one in Norwich, because now I want one, but they are so expensive.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
I don't want to have to buy one. In the moment before I was collecting Moogles, it was like, yeah, this is just quick cash because Sean wants it. But now, should have kept it.
I did ask you. I was like, why Chalinka? And I forget that she's got a little
She's got a
Moogle on her back.
There's a Moogle on the card.
Yeah.
Has to have a Moogle on the card for Alfie to have the card.
He's the Mog for a reason.
The Mog for a reason.
The rules are, I'm collecting all of the job Moogle full arts right now.
Yeah.
And once that's done, it's any full art card with a Moogle on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But some of them are really expensive, like the Chocobo from Opus 20, I want to say, maybe earlier, maybe 19, has a Moogle on it. But that card's like £45. It's insane.
Really?
Just because it looks nice.
It's really expensive just because the art's so cool.
Wow. Okay.
You get those occasional just pure art.
I suppose that's
collector
Leviathan of this set, right? With the garnet on it. Yeah. Oh, I was so glad when I pulled that.
So either of you heard this rumour? This first 3 and first 6?
It's first 5 and first 9 that I've heard.
First 5 and first 9.
So yeah, basically, just like L3 and L6 being last 3 and last 6.
Yeah.
There's potential ideas of, which I think it's just a fun rumor going around. Don't know whether it's actually serious or not, but the potential of having side tournaments with first 5 and first 9.
Yeah.
And that idea is highly, highly intriguing for anyone who has obviously been around that long.
Yeah.
Going back to the first 9 sets, first 5 sets.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But also, I think those who are brand new are being forced into the first 5 sets or first 9 sets to play the game on a different level would be super interesting. I think I would find that, like, give all of our new players a deck of just up to Opus 9.
I'm feeling mixed about the potential for that. Is this something that's been rumored to be happening in tournaments, like in a competitive environment?
I think so. I can't say for 100% certainty.
Is it just a fan idea?
I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. Not as a replacement, but as a potential sort of like, because we over here in the West don't particularly like the last 3 and last 6. We don't particularly like those sorts of events, but I know that Japan absolutely revel in those sorts of deck ideas.
I like a deck building challenge, but last 3 and last 6 has always just been a bit
naff.
I don't know. There's something, because you see, playing the cards you're seeing in Constructed, aren't you? So much.
I'd be happy to try F5 and F9, I think, but the only like slight concern, because I'm a new player, is that some of those old legends are hard to get hold of still.
True.
Like Opus 1 Shantotto, it's been reprinted, but it's because it's still such a good card now. It's hard to get hold of.
Opus 2 Legend Renoa.
Yeah, you're gonna fall into the trap of Earthwall as well. So like Earthwall and from Opus 5.
Well, at least it's not 40 quid anymore.
Yeah. Y'shtolas, Opus 5 Y'shtolas, Wind Y'shtolas, quite interesting.
Yeah, we're all ready to get 3-drop Zidane again.
Yeah,
we go back to those.
What decks? Because I wasn't around, obviously, when those sets were around.
Yeah,
YRP.
That's the first.
That's
one
all
that
you need to
comes
say.
into my head.
Like if you hear YRP, like anyone who's from back in that time just goes, "Oh, it was literally."
That deck was way too good for way too long.
Yeah.
It was so depressing.
So
it was the mono wind at the time, basically.
Basically, it was the mono wind, but not mono. It was earth. Sorry, it was water wind, and it played backup Riku, which is now banned.
Played backup Yuna.
That reduced the water cards by 1.
It played Forward Pain, that's a 3-drop EX, could search either of those backups, and it played starter Valfor, that if you had a Yuna, you untap the backups after you play it.
Yeah, and it 3k board wide.
3k to the board.
So you had things that recurred it back to hand as well. and they
Porum, was it? No, that was a bit later.
I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. But the thing that made it most crucially awkward, I suppose, was you have the Opus 2 or 3 pane that searches your card, but you had the starter pane. The starter pane was basically, if you control a Riku, draw a card. If you control a Yuna, untap 3 cards. Undull, basically. Activate 3 cards.
It was like the freest card back in the day.
So it was a 0 CP draw a card thing, you know?
Sounds pretty good.
So yeah, it was nasty at the time.
What set was Sildra in?
Sildra was Opus
10.
Yeah.
Just cut off to make Mono Water crazy.
Oh man, I played a bit of Sildra Mono Water when it was unbanned, and oh my god, it was so fun. It was so good. That's if we do run an unbanned thing, it's going to be very tempting to play Mono Water anyway, which will upset everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's been a bit of chatter about running that at our locals after Cactuars did it.
Yeah, I'm mixed on that.
I feel like we are setting ourselves up for a lot of negative experiences. with I mean,
I think most of the banned cards are now like Dadaluma Cactuar. If you unbanned it now, you'd just get mullered by the meta.
You would get mullered, but this card, I mean, like what we're talking about.
But the Sildra would be the scary one because you could even make 4 color decks that like are nuts consistent.
When we did that Chaos draft for my birthday, I drafted Sildra, and it was nuts in like limited draft, so constructed like
absolutely.
Just says search for any 2 cards you want.
Yeah. What is it? Is it search for 2 water and or 2 FF?
Yeah, it's FF5 or water characters and. Yeah, it doesn't get you summons, but it does everything else.
dude, this.
You used to have the backup summoner, and you just on your first one you get Yuna and summoner.
Yeah.
Play that, and then you play the summoner next turn. You get the Sildra back, cast it for 3 because you've got Yuna down.
It's hilarious.
Then you keep recurring it till you apply backups instantly.
Yeah,
stupid.
It's so bonkers how easily that lasted. Like how long people were still going with that for, you know, because it's an old card. It's not like a most recent card and everyone's gone, oh, it's cracked. It's like it's
happens so much in this game, doesn't it? Where people discover a card like way later.
Yeah, Guido. That's the weirdest ban in the like if you think about Guido and look at Guido, you went, why the fuck is this banned?
I think it was only banned because it was unintentional design. I don't think Guido Barrelai was that good.
No. Yeah,
but it's up for debate.
And it's future proofing, I suppose, because if you do find anything that reactivates something so cheaply and so frequently, and then you're gonna have to look at the state of the game, I suppose, as things moved on.
So in regards to that state of the game, I think all of us are pretty much on the like, we don't mind if there's no bans.
Yeah.
Because the meta's healthy enough.
Yeah.
But it does look kind of aggressive on a big tournament sort of view. But at the top level, it doesn't. It looks pretty balanced.
Talking about sorry, Alfie. I was just going to say, talking about YRP, it feels like that era. But it's on the flip side of being aggressive because we have gone through stages in this game where we've complained about certain decks for so long, and we've gone, there's nothing that's going to beat this deck. There's no way that this is. How's the game going to evolve and change?
YRP felt way worse for me.
Exactly, it's the experience that you don't want, but at the same time, look where we are now and where YRP is. If you brought the same YRP deck to a tournament now, it's fucked. You know, and so, but then it does beg the question: how will the game progress? Is it without
you can't power creep the game out into a slower speed at this point.
No,
and
that's the fear. Thing. That's the scary thing.
That's the scary thing.
In terms of past cards and also like future proofing, I have 2 things I want to talk about. Future proofing wise, there are some cards which say 5 backups or more. Does this mean we are getting 6 backups possible in the future?
In boss deck format, you can have more than 5 backups if you're the boss.
What about in standard? Thoughts?
There might be like a cool monster that says that you can play 1 more backup, or
I think it would be
something like that.
I think what they do.
Will go to 8 backups.
Yeah, I think what they do is they put this wording down just to kind of be clear that despite the fact that you can't go more than 5, I think they just say it so that it's making certain that you hit that 5, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A weird sort of like reverse psychology. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're choosing the language perfectly, because if they say 5 backups, then it's specific. They've had this more or less for a while, haven't they?
Yeah.
5 or more, 5 or less. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So I think it's basically terminology.
Can you imagine if they printed a card like you said that said you can play 1 more backup and it was in water?
Oh no!
It was multi-playable, so you could go to 8 backups and you play an Ash for free that deals 16k.
Fuck that.
Oh, you can play your Tidus off all your backups, including the kicker.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Ban Tidus right now. Ban Tidus right now.
But even 4-wall, play some stuff off your other backups, then 4-wall and then tap 8 backups.
Oh no! That's disgusting.
My other one, which is such a meme, which I love, which I don't think anyone else finds funny, but I think it's funny.
Right.
Is that old cards said his/her instead of her. What happens if my opponent's playing a card that says his/her and I'm non-binary? Does the effect still trigger? Judge? We need to get Yo to rule that for me.
Yeah, like I said, MBs need an errata at that point.
Well, this card says he or she discards a card, and I'm a they, so do I keep this card? What's going on?
Immediate reprints. I think, to be fair, on topic of reprints, I think I'm actually quite pleased with the whole legacy thing coming out.
I can't wait.
Especially with the fact that people want to foil out their decks, people want to make their decks super fun.
It's a great idea for prizing as well, because people get bored of just getting, like, you get this far into Opus 24, people don't even want Opus 24 packs anymore. But
I also, the thing that I do like that they've done, which kind of sets it apart for collectors and makes it feel more accessible for collectors and anyone else to get them, is that they've printed a serial code that's specific to the reprint.
And is it Leo that's now a hero in the legacy?
Yeah, they've changed. I don't know about Leo, but there is some cards they've changed rarity on.
Yeah.
I haven't actually checked.
I really want to sell my Leos.
Yeah.
Cash out now.
Yeah, quickly.
I was saying this earlier. I took my Glaciella to Winter Cup thinking like there's going to be someone who's too impatient to wait until reprint, and that person was Frenchie. Shout out to Frenchie for trading me a foil full art Corilla.
He's a generous boy.
But to be fair, Glaciella, actually, I think it was Callum Hackett. Or Hatchet, I forgot, don't know.
It's Hackett.
Hackett, yeah. Callum Hackett, really nice guy. He, he was mashed on the second day. He only had 1 hour's sleep, and he was like playing against Linden, and he was like slurring his words, couldn't get his sentence out right. But it was such a good sport. Anyway, he like was just like giving away Glaciella. I think he gave away a Glaciella for free to French or something. Wow. And I think that was just possibly on the back of the fact that this legacy thing's coming out. Maybe I have no idea.
People just want to get rid of them while they can, like you say, and cash in while you can.
Yeah, makes sense. So I think in regards to the next set, which is
Tears of the Planet, I think it's 25th of March.
March, yeah, sorry.
25th of March.
The end month.
The end month. Yeah.
You saw some Japanese posters get revealed online, right?
Oh,
and,
the
some
art
on those. Yeah, it looks so
Sarah
good.
Mobius?
Yeah, that Sarah Mobius looks so good. And then you had an
Yuna?
alternative Yuna, that was like interesting art style.
Yeah.
And then obviously Aerith is the main.
Aerith is the chase card this time, signature chase card.
I'd love one of those.
I think a lot of people.
Another waifu set.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it has been waifus on this poster. And if I zoomed in really close on some of the little pictures that are up there, they've got some characters I'm not actually familiar with, so I'll be super interested to see. Maybe I am familiar with them, but they've just completely done the arts very interestingly. So it'll be good to see what. I think they're bumping up the original arts and illustrations for these sets. Much more now.
We're getting even more original art, which is amazing for the game.
Absolutely.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my PS2 screen captures on my cards, but some custom art for the game is not unappreciated.
You don't know how peak FF11 was. It was just like if you know that game and see the nostalgia from the
granddad's giving Alfie a story.
It's making me think of that playmat that one of the polls from the YYT has of Squall, and it's like you're the most attractive person
Oh,
here.
a classic
And then
meme.
it's
Yeah.
The cutest guy, and he's
Yeah.
got 3 pixels for a face.
Yeah.
Looking like he's got the biggest underbite. Whatever. I think.
Actually, I do. Part of me wants to get fucking FF11 screen grabs for a playmat next. Just
Yeah,
to-
that'd be great. Do it. Get
Just
young
stop.
Cax.
Playing FF7 on a mobile, and some of the like rendering on there, because it's on a like mobile as well, it makes it even worse. It's like
Are
how
you sure? I thought on mobile they're only selling remastered.
No, it was the original.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice,
I
nice.
can see that being very, very poor quality.
You enjoying it more than FF9 then?
So far, yeah. I'm not very far into 7.
It throws you in quite intensely, isn't it?
I think it must be because he's on the post-teenage phase of like the edginess and needing that. It must be that.
Maybe FF9 is just worse.
Hey, no,
Johnny's gonna
it's
start crying.
it can be dark at times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get that Disney-fied FF away from me.
No. Yeah, I can see why back in the day why people were put off from it, because it was a
I
massive
actually
throw.
was an edgy, sarcastic teenager.
You were the
though,
squall
so-
of the teenager.
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 9 is just like all about love and friendship, and FF7 is like we're
Love-
eco-terrorists.
love-
It's
and
so good.
friendship.
It's so based.
Love and friendship.
Yeah.
Have you seen Vivi?
Oh yeah, Vivi's not.
Can
very happy, but
any
the
of
rest
those characters compare to Barrett?
No, well, no, yeah.
Eco-terrorist with a machine gun arm.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
The best FF character is Waka.
Oh no.
I was on shift the other day watching those Waka clips.
Yeah, the most racist. Most racist.
Oh, that's some Japanese tone policing right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're just happy ginger guy.
He looks white, but
Yeah.
We're not going to do any impressions, I'm afraid.
No one could do his voice. Justice, that's for sure.
But anyway,
moving
so
on swiftly.
talking of the new set, we need to shift our prizing before the next set launches.
Yes, we do. We do.
So
We've got
mid-March, we're going to run a winner box style tournament, I think,
date to be confirmed. We
in the Slice and Dice.
we
In
want
the
to
Dice
we
Cup.
want to try and get a good thing, sort of like community event, big of we want to kind of push that sort of like the numbers that we normally get, because
Yeah.
we have done winner boxes in the past.
Yeah.
And they have been successful. We've drawn in a good crowd. But
Yeah.
I feel like with the amount of stuff that we can do, I feel like we want to push that
Yeah.
envelope
Yeah.
a bit more, right?
Yeah,
Now
so
that New Year's come
and
around.
that'll be a nice, we'll have that Basingstoke event, and we'll have this before the next set.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of something for your you want to win something,
Yeah.
you want to
we'll-
stay competitive.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get the winner boxes being obviously a box being the main prize, but you will obviously second and third we'll put some prizing in for that. as well.
Yeah. We're not necessarily going to announce the prizing structure now, but we have
Yes.
more than a box to give away in prizing.
Definitely.
So
Yeah. So
we
if
can
you
do cheeky little
if you keep
10
an
to
eye,
£6 entry, probably 10.
keep an eye on all the Facebook groups, and obviously Slice and Dice page. We'll probably be putting that up
Yeah,
soon.
I want to get that organised soon, so hopefully I can get my ass in gear. And,
Yeah, you got it.
we probably need to talk to maybe see what Sean says as well.
Yeah.
No pressure there.
No, yeah, gotta love Sean for his generosity. Gotta love Sean for his
No
generosity.
pressure, it's got to be voluntary, hasn't it? Ultimately?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we definitely want to sort of push the envelope for bigger events, and hopefully, and we can get some.
And I have to do the stressful thing
Good
of being like, I
representation.
want to play.
Yeah.
but we probably have to be of someone
I
TOing
will,
slash judging.
I will do my due duty. What am I trying to say?
Diligence.
Due diligence. Oh, I can't even say that phrase. Due diligence. There we go.
It is a tongue twist.
I will do that.
Due diligence.
I will do my job, and I will judge.
This
and
guy's an
TO.
audiobook guy.
Yeah, I can't even say words. Man, there's some things like
It's been a rough day.
it's hilarious when talking about audiobooks. Like, I'm not going to go into it, but like there's a couple of phrases, like sentences that people write and don't think about how it's said. And like I've literally read a sentence that had like 5 S's in it. I was like, literally just people throwing tongue twisters in their books for whatever reason. But yeah, no, I think with getting bigger tournaments out, we want that representation as best. Well, we want to try and rep as much as we can, right?
Yeah.
And prove that
We've
we're
gotta-
not just a newbies only zone. We can do competitive play too. Yeah, for sure.
On the topic of Sean, I gave him my Terror that I won from coming top 16.
Hey.
You
I
gave
mean,
it
to get graded.
Sold, right?
to get.
Oh,
okay.
Because he was sending loads of stuff off anyway. And like when I was giving it to him, I was like, "You need to babysit this card.
Please. Yeah.
This is the most valuable thing I've ever won in my entire life. Please do not like lose this." Because I know what Sean's like. He's got too many cards.
So he's about what you're saying is a bit.
I don't envy his
lackadaisical about how he treats his cards, or
No.
I'm just saying that man has got a lot of expensive cardboard. I would not put it past him to just let a Terror get lost. So
I get stressed looking at how much organising of card stuff he has to do.
He's got an entire shed dedicated to his collection now, right? Like.
But in before the Royal Mail post sorting machine gets at your
man.
Terror.
That mod full
yeah.
That mog actually hurt my soul a little bit.
That was rough.
I do look at the sort of collection that I've got, because I've only got one. I've kind of branched out, but I've only got one major collection in this game, and that's collecting all the promos. And I look at that and I go, do I dare take any of these out of order to go and get them graded? You know, I think maybe the value in grading them might not be worth the joy that I have looking at them all from one to however many.
Me being the anti-collector, the only ones I like value is the weird full arts that we sign at drafts.
Well,
Get them graded.
That's my collection.
I can easily pass you one of them, that's for sure. I got a Duff cube.
So that Huddersfield one where I nearly won that, but Duff beat me with Ruggagene. It was so irritating.
I
2 damage out of nowhere.
I hate drafted Ruggagene from him because I remembered that he did that to you and he was sat next to me and I was like, I'm not passing you this card.
Did you play it?
It went in my deck. I think it only saw play in one of my games.
Yeah. Fair.
And it got killed straight away. I played it against Steve and he got killed the turn after I played it.
Nice. Wow.
Steve just drafted all the removal like a boss.
Yeah,
that's what you do. Right?
I did love the one I drafted. What was that? Cactomania. I had like frigging lock, multi-cloud. Multi-lock, multi-cloud.
Yep.
Shiva and Jill. I had just bomb after bomb after bomb. Yeah, the All-Star Cube is very fun.
I got past some crazy cards. I got past like a full FF6 deck plus Jill, Shiva, Torgal, Clive Ifrit, and I was like, I've just got all the primals.
Yeah. And in colour.
Yeah. I'm about ready for a new set though. I think I'm looking forward to a pre-release. That's like
I
think I get like pretty competitive on a pre-release.
I'm starving for one. I've missed the last two.
If I get all these new players joining as well, we could have a huge pre-release. That'd be nice.
We need to set dates. Well, we need to set, because we got the release date for the set, and our pre-release typically is the day before release, because set releases on the Friday and obviously ours is Thursday, so we are late to the pre-release train, but we get ours pre-release in just the day before release. And I need to set time aside because I'm definitely needing to come down to this one. It's just before the thing is, it's just the last of the it'll be Wednesday, last day of the month tournament. Pre-release the next day.
Yeah, we might have to.
We'll have to figure something out.
Or something.
Yeah, maybe figure it out. Maybe we do like third to last Wednesday. Maybe.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Third to last? No, second.
Second to last.
Well, third Wednesday of the month. So yeah, I think I'm excited for a new set as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the
freshen
spoilers,
it up.
Some of the spoilers so far. Golbez.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm super happy about that because I'm already playing Warp Golbez this set and it's a fun pet deck. Yeah. So I'm pretty psyched I'll go straight into those cards.
Yeah, because like the Warp Golbez, it never occurred to me that it could just never enter.
If you get the nut hand on that deck, it's terrifying. It's as good as like any other turbo aggro deck. I say that you do have to go back up Warp.
Yeah.
And then the next turn you actually start doing shit. But it still feels crazy, in the right game. But yeah, also it does lose to a lot of decks.
Talking about cards.
Yeah.
as this is a whole podcast about cards.
That's what I've been doing for the last hour.
You were down for the ba-da-da-da-da-da. No, why am I singing Mario? The card.
Oh no.
The card. Guess the card idea.
Oh, guess the card.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
supposed to get a card up. Okay, I
You've
did
had a
have an
week on-
idea.
You've had a week on holiday, so maybe.
Yeah, I was not thinking about that.
Buzz-
If it's an old one, I'm so cool.
You're toasted. No, I'll get a card up then, shall I?
Yeah, get a card up.
I literally forgot about that.
Yeah, we have a segment which
Yeah.
I think a lot of people actually enjoyed, because I think when we went to Winter Cup, McAvoy for one, Paul McAvoy was saying, "Oh, I love the card. I guessed the card almost immediately. It's like one of my favorite cards is that Quistis," and I was like, "Yeah, high five." But it was a lot of people actually enjoyed that segment, and it's quite nice because obviously, people actually are guessing along as they're listening. So, yeah. See,
You're not seeing my phone, are you?
No, I didn't see it.
Cool,
No,
cool.
I'm looking down.
All right, I've got my card up.
All right, so just to explain it to Alfie, you've heard, I know, and listened along, but this is also for new people if they're listening too. We have 20 questions, yes or no answers. There's now we've developed strategy into this, getting things
Alfie's
down
heard
into
the strategies we
yeah.
use.
Getting down into elements down into one question. So
Is
Alfie?
it ice, fire, or lightning kind of thing?
yeah, basically. Go, lead with that if you
Yeah.
want that be our
You
first
want to chuck
question.
a light or dark in there?
Yeah, you got to chuck a light because obviously it could be
Okay. Is it fire, ice, dark, or wind?
No.
fire, ice, dark, or wind.
So it
okay,
could be
so that's question
water,
one. Water, earth.
Earth.
What did you say?
I don't remember.
Water,
I
earth.
said fire, ice, wind, and dark.
So
it
light-
could be
light-
light, earth, water,
and lightning.
and lightning.
So it's going to be in one of them.
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
So that's a kind of we've ruled that out.
I need a
haven't we?
pen and paper. I can't remember. All
Do you want me to be noting how many guesses?
So we've had one guess
Yeah.
because we've just basically just done process of elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it water and is it in either water and earth? Or not and or earth.
I'm just looking at you like, oh,
Water or earth. I'm trying to make my grammar
Yes.
work for the question.
it's in those elements.
It's in. So we've ruled out lightning and light. Cool. So
Alfie.
next
Or
one.
water or earth. Is it a backup or a monster?
Yes.
So it's a backup or monster.
Okay. There's lots of water monsters. But would Sam pick something that obvious?
Yes.
Is it Sahagin Chief?
If he gives you an answer.
The Shanghai Chef.
Shanghai Chef. No, that's the Nazi card. That is.
People have been saying this is Althea. It needs banning now. Which is
What?
if you want to hit mono water, you would hit that card.
Sahagin. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Anyway, yeah.
was that a serious question?
No, I won't
Yeah.
answer
Okay.
it.
Retract
I don't think Sam
that
would be
one.
obvious.
Retract that one. Okay. So 3 questions down.
Yeah, I'm counting them. Don't worry.
We've got monster or so. Is it? Let's clarify this. Is it a backup?
Yes.
So it's a backup for sure.
In water or earth?
No. Yes, in water or earth. Yes, we have got the or earth. I'm thinking
So
straight
they're
water.
about to throw the smoke
I'm
screen.
thinking straight water because it's Sam. Though you do play a lot of earth as well. But let's guess.
Is it in water?
No.
So it's in earth.
Earth backup.
Earth backup. Is the cost of the backup 3 or below?
Yes.
Okay. Not Shantos.
You've had 6 questions.
Yeah, or not Tyro or Star Sybil or. So yeah, 6 questions. Do you want to go for one?
I can't think.
Yeah.
Does it
They're blanking, folks.
does it have an EX?
No.
No. Okay.
Is it from Opus 12 or below?
No.
Okay, so it's obviously in the latter half.
Does that mean it could be 12 or not? No, because I said 12 or below, so it's got to be
Yeah,
13 plus.
So yeah, 13 to 24. Okay. So Earth backup. I mean, God, Earth. I don't even play Earth very much.
You pick the worst element.
Yeah. Or should it
You've had
be
8
best,
questions.
best element?
That's a great element.
Does it have a special?
No.
Okay.
You've had 9 questions.
Is it a searcher? Because
No.
Earth searchers are fuck ton.
No.
Does it draw a card?
In Earth?
Does it draw a card?
Oh,
No.
yeah, that's true. Not likely enough. I'm just thinking of because they like the humans cards. They all like they reprint. They
Yeah, I
print one of those
suppose.
in every element
I suppose you're right.
in the last set.
Is it? Oh my gosh. So we've got 13 to 24. Is it Opus 20 or 20? Is it between Opus 20 and 24?
Including Opus 20.
Yes, including Opus 20 and including Opus 24.
Yes.
Okay.
2024.
Yes. So
You've had 12 questions.
3 or below.
no. Yeah. It's yeah. Cost 3 or below. Or is it
How many questions we had?
20? Oh, we've had 12
You had
questions
12,
so far.
yeah. You got 8 more.
Gosh. Backups are hard.
I need to get Material Hunter up.
I think
It's about card knowledge.
I think that's called cheating. I would.
Does this card see play
In the
meta?
Oh,
No.
I mean that's quite a vague.
Subjective,
yeah.
but I'll go with no.
Okay.
It's as a general gist. Okay, cool. Man,
7 more questions.
7 more questions. Does it?
Does it break to do something?
No.
Is there a sack effect? No. Okay.
So it can't be like any of the crystal makers.
No.
You've had 14 questions. So 6 or 7 more.
I'm trying to think of like standardized sort of Earth cards. So is it a buffer? Does it like add power?
A buffer in Opus 20 to 24?
Oh, I don't know.
Nope.
No, I know. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. Man, I'm stuck. Any more questions?
My card knowledge is not that good.
Is
It's
it
hanging on you, Jono?
Basically, if it's not meta, I don't know it.
is it 2CP?
Competitive players? It's not.
So it's either 3 or 1.
It's either 3 or 1.
It's probably more likely to be 3.
More like yeah.
You've had 16.
Ooh, I can't. Yeah, more likely to be 3. In Opus 20 to 24. Man.
I'm feeling very smug.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling like that last week. Or last time, sorry. Jeez. I'm drawing blanks.
Should we narrow it down further?
Like how would you
Opus-wise?
Opus wise? Oh,
Yeah.
I
We
don't
could
know
say
if that's
You've got to be thinking about your pre-releases and stuff at this point.
Yeah. Because there's cards. If this is a non-meta card in those sets,
Yeah.
it's quite hard to pinpoint where that would come up. Jeez, does it? No.
Once you get low, I'll give you like the vaguest clues, I think.
Yeah, I did. I had to do that last time, so it's only fair. Right.
What's this 17th question then?
17th question.
It's an Earth backup that costs 3.
If people got this already, then you're definitely
set
geniuses.
20 to 24.
If you've got this already based off our crap questions, you need to do something else.
Get shamed for enjoying FFTCG on the FFTCG podcast.
Should create a game show.
That's when it becomes scary card knowledge. You know this stuff based off our shit.
You're basically
shit
shaming me
questions.
because I love card knowledge.
What could the text be on a card that is recent sets?
Recent 3-drop.
Recent 3. Oh, you didn't. Oh, he's confirmed it's a 3-drop.
Well, 3 or 1 drop.
It wasn't going to be a 1-drop, was it?
No, of course. I don't.
I think there is Earth 1 drops in
They've
the
got the
last 4
standard
sets, so.
standard unit 1
Yeah.
drop like evokers.
There's gonna be a
301. 301.
There's gonna be an L3 and L6 player somewhere from Japan listening to this who goes, I know exactly what it's doing.
Yeah, exactly. They actually played it.
It's meta in L6.
It's got no EX. It's got no EXs. It doesn't search you anything. It doesn't have an S effect. It doesn't break itself.
Does it interact with the break zone?
Nope.
Because I was thinking like there's quite a lot of cards in Earth that like grab back from break zone.
Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of that. Jeez.
It doesn't interact with the break zone.
What kind of questions could you ask about?
Is it a standard unit?
Yes.
Ooh. All right. That kind of makes it.
Standard unit 3 cost back.
You've got the monk, but that drew you a card.
That's 18 questions now that you've had. So
You got the monk that drew you.
2
a
or
card.
3 more.
But I didn't actually ask if it drew a card. Sam didn't
You did.
answer.
Oh, we did. You said. Did you ask? You asked about drawing a card, right? I remember you saying,
Did you
and
answer?
I had to say, why would you say that in
I'm
Earth?
pretty sure.
But then you said, oh, because the
No,
crystals.
I did. I counted that one. Yeah, I said it doesn't.
It
But
doesn't
then-
draw a
it
card,
doesn't.
so it's probably not the monk then.
But there's a new one that there's a new Earth that sort of trend wasn't there of this set just gone that was play it, you draw a card then as well, I suppose. That was a draw
But it
card.
doesn't draw, so it can't be that.
Can't be that one.
I like that Alfie keeps looking at me to try and get some read on what this is.
Alfie's trying to read into Sam's poker face.
I've got a great poker face because I'm just weird.
You're a terrible one. He's sat there giggling.
How many questions?
You've had 18.
18,
So
but
you've
2
got-
questions left.
Didn't we do 21 last time? 'Cause
Well,
that's like the common name.
on the 20th, after the 20th guess, you gave us I gave you guys a hint.
Right, okay.
So
That freaking quiz test, jeez.
yeah, Chris is
It's a standard unit.
standard
I can't
unit.
believe you got me with that, like, because I feel
You were
like
so
my card-
close. You were
Phil
so
was
close.
going like, yeah, listening back to it. Phil kept guessing for a card that just wasn't in his era.
Yeah, bless him. Yeah, no, that was a good one.
Sorry.
So
distracting.
3CP standard unit backup that was in the most recent of sets. Any Opus 20? What about 23? Can we think of?
I'm not. No, sorry, I'll give things away if I say this. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
don't.
say
Yeah,
anything.
save that for when we've guessed the last 2 questions, right? We're dragging time on this.
The only thing I could really think of, which I'm not asking this, because I'm presenting this to Jono,
Yeah.
is there's quite a lot of backups recently which say like 1 line of text and then second line of text at 5 backups. There's been loads of those recently.
That was one I was thinking of, and that draws a card.
Yeah.
So it can't
But
be
is
that
there
one.
any more that are like that?
There were
Because that's been like a massive thing recently.
like there
There's
was
a damage one in Fire that was from 22, I want to say.
because you got like Loperate, and I'm only thinking of the ones that actually were relevant though, and I don't think the ones that I can't think of the ones that aren't relevant.
Yeah, you just can't summon this card to your mind.
Can't summon a card.
You know
to
where
it.
it is,
I know,
but you can't
yeah,
summon it
yeah,
up.
exactly.
I can think of like meme trash questions.
Okay, question.
You can hone some things down.
Question. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Question is because obviously all standard units are job related.
Yeah.
Typically, obviously, you've got things like Lilty, which are like more like race related. Is it a job name?
Is it a job name?
Is the
in
card
Final Fantasy
name
Universe?
is the card name a job in the Final Fantasy universe?
No.
I think I might know.
Because
what it
otherwise,
is.
if it was, I would go like monk or like carpenter or something. I don't know.
No.
Oh wait. Well, you already said no buffs, but was that no buffs to other cards?
That's kind of what I was
Because
alluding to.
What, a backup that buffs itself? What are you talking about?
No, backup that buffs
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot it
forwards.
was a backup. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking the Earth Soldier Cadet is a 3 cost, but it's forward, so.
And it's also a soldier cadet. It's not a standard unit.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh no, soldier cadet is
It's
a
a
standard.
standard
Sorry,
unit, but the name is Soldier
the name
Cadet.
is soldier cadet.
What's your 20th question
20th
then,
question.
boys?
For goodness sake.
And then you can get a little hint.
Oh, come on. So it's definitely not a job a job name. So it's gonna be one of those obscure Like,
I'm so proud of this pick.
I just
Yeah,
want
it's a
to
good
ask
one.
a meme question. Can I ask a meme question?
not right now. We're on the cusp. We're on the
It's
cusp of
shits and
20
gigs,
right
this is
now.
all for fun.
This is a meme question comes at like 21 question.
If I open this in my pre-release kit, is it going in my bomb pile or my chaff pile?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a backup though, isn't it? Well, how many
Well, yeah,
backups
but-
go in your bomb pile?
Well, okay, maybe not bomb pile, but is it going in my chaff pile or in my this might be played if I'm in these colours?
This is
pile?
a serviceable card if you're playing these colours,
Okay.
in my opinion.
So it's a card that's all right, but it just wouldn't see
So-
play in the meta ever.
Well, that's our 20th question. So Sam, hints.
All right, this card. This is like, if you see the art of this card, you're like, oh, cool. It's like out there. This is not
Good
generic.
art,
This is
okay.
not like, well,
It's good art,
it's.
but it's
I'll give you
shit
another
card.
clue. It's a render.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But you this like you don't get this kind of thing on most cards. You know?
Right. Okay. Man. I bet people know exactly what this is now from that specific hint.
This
So it's a render.
I bet my
this
hint.
Earth Standard Unit backup.
So it's not original art. So you're not going to get full arts of it.
You can't even ask me a question. You've not asked anything about
Here's
rarity.
another hint. Yeah, you didn't ask anything about rarity, but
Should've
you know
done.
it's a standard unit, so it's probably
Probably
a
common or rare.
Yeah. Go on. What's the other hint?
You was getting towards something when you said Loprit.
Yeah. It's got to be category 14 then, isn't it?
Is it a rabbit?
It's not. It's not. I'm trying to think of the other weird standard unit.
Is it a Totoro? Because they look like dogs.
What other weird 14/CC?
Lalafell.
Oh God! No, I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the names. Stuck on the names completely.
When I play games like this, I like to ask subjective questions, which isn't helpful when you're not playing it seriously.
Right, we're definitely out of guesses here.
You
so.
think you've failed the game, or
Yeah,
Should
just
we,
give.
should we just say one more guess of what the card is each? We can't ask any more questions, but just
yeah,
guess on
just
what the
guess.
card is
Yeah,
each.
yeah, go for it. I like that idea.
Go
Do you
on
like that idea, Johnny?
Yeah, go for it.
You go first.
Me go first.
You go first.
The thing is, I know what it is. Like, I kind of have an image in my head, but I can't remember the name of it. So why would I? Like, I can't guess it because I can't remember the name.
Have a crack.
Oh my gosh. Is it? Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ!
Is it?
Based off
Is
him saying it's
Ixalia? Is it an Ixali or something like that? I've forgotten what it's called.
It's not an Ixali.
No.
Wouldn't that be in lightning?
Probably, or wind or something. No, go on then.
Is it?
I like the idea.
Is it a geomancer?
No, this is Arkasodara.
What the?
What?
This elephant guy.
The fucking elephant. The
Oh,
elephant.
not him.
The
It's
elephant.
like
I
Star
knew
Wars
it was.
character.
yeah.
That's the crazy thing. I was like, I knew that. Yeah.
Read him out. What does he do?
Arcasodaria. So yeah, backup standard unit, 3 CP. When he enters the field, choose one dull forward. If your opponent doesn't pay 3, break it. That is a.
It's like Masked Woman, but a bit worse, but a standard unit.
That is.
I love Masked Woman's my kind of card, so
Like-
I thought I'll pick this because it's recent as well, so I'm not screwing over Alfie.
But also.
Were you in
like,
Opus 20 pre-release? I was close to asking you that, and then I was like, oh, I don't know.
I don't even remember. Maybe.
Yeah, you're probably around
What?
back then.
I feel like I remember you playing Scions a bit.
You've been here for a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
Year and a half. So yeah, you would have been playing.
Going on 2 years, like approaching 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said this was in the set. So this card, for specific reasons, was floating around, but it just bypassed my head.
Yeah,
Like, literally went,
you were this close.
and
And
I was
I thought I'd give you a big hint with saying Loprit, right? Because
Loprit.
that's on the same
It's,
rotation.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. I was like, I can't remember.
It's just one of those cards, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So if anyone, if
Look at
basically
his clothes as well.
It's
so
clothes
so
are-
outstanding.
clothes are very,
He looks like a Star Wars character. I
So
swear
much,
I've
yeah,
seen
He's very
him before.
Indian-esque.
Yeah,
But-
his name could be like Jube Galouz or something.
but basically that if anyone's listening, it's the one with the elephant.
The blue
The
elephant, yeah.
The elephant man.
You see this guy if you're on drugs, you know.
Massive.
Arca is here.
Now we've got to find a room to play this now. We've got to play the card just for the memes of it.
I'm gonna put him in some kind of weird draft cube now.
We should. Once we've. How many cards do you need in a cube generally?
Oh, weird guys draft cube.
Yeah.
Just only
I was
weird.
about to say we should do a cube, like 200 episodes of this podcast later, where every card is a card that's been in Guess the Card.
Yes.
Because eventually someone's gonna go, oh fuck, what card do I want to do and guess the card that's gonna be crazy if I draft it?
Yeah. That's a cool idea. I like
Put
that.
Dark Neo X-Death as the guess the card.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was I thought this was like a nice like. It's recent enough that it shouldn't be that hard, but it is not seen meta play at all.
Why'd you pick one that has the shittiest name as well? Like,
I would never say that.
No one
I literally
remembers
was
its
like
name.
practicing it in my mind.
If you opened a pack of Opus 20, because bearing in mind like a few sets, like 4 sets in, open a pack of Opus 20, you would never look twice at that card. You would just go, oh, elephant, and carry on going through. You
This
would
is
never.
the strat, folks. You just pick a card with a name that the other people can't say, because then they'll never guess it.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. If you want to be really pedantic, you're like, you didn't pronounce it right. It's not that card.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a good way to end the podcast.
Yeah,
so
I'm feeling smug.
Yeah, we've got some good hype for the future. State of the game's still looking pretty sweet from our eyes.
Yeah, I think it's healthy enough. You had that salt in the Winter Cup room, which is sad to see, but you know,
It can only get better. You know what I mean?
Winter Cup as a whole was great.
I wouldn't be upset if we see like a chaos ban or something.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the easiest,
or at least a restriction.
turbo
right?
aggro deck. Like I feel, for some reason, I feel a lot better about knights than chaos.
Yeah, if you restricted chaos to 1, then you're possibly looking at a less aggro-y game, but also
you could just ban Raijin in that deck.
That's what I said. Yeah. That's what I said to Alfie. I was like, ban Raijin, and then you've got
And
no hastes.
I still think the small FF8 packages, you know, when you just include 2 Adia and 3 Irvin, and
Cypher.
so I think you're still going to see FF8 packages in Lightning, even if you ban that Raijin.
Yeah.
Because it's only for turbo aggro.
It's the fact that I had to witness Steve get basically turn 1 was what was he? Turn 1 was chaos. Use the special. Play out Fujin and Raijin on turn 1.
Yeah.
Hit for 2 damage, 3 damage being dealt.
Yeah.
Turn 2, swing for because he's only put down a backup.
Yeah.
Swing with the 3 attackers that you got on field, and then chaos special.
Yeah.
I'm just
GG.
like done. I'm like, what? How can you go from that really? And also, he was playing from top deck as well, so that was a bloody lucky like top deck for getting another chaos to a special hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you restricted some things, you might find that people are less inclined to salt on it.
I feel like you're getting rid of 25% of the salt with that one, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
There was a lot of chaos in the room at Winter Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very dry on the tables.
I'm not a big fan of that style of deck. I don't think it does anything good for the game.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I
No.
think you can have hyper aggro and it's still like fun to play against, but chaos is just you follow a script.
Well, when they spoiled chaos, I was excited to play a tempo monster deck.
Yeah.
And I think that flavour of chaos could still be good if you just hit Raijin.
Yeah.
Even just restrict Raijin to 1.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I guess no one would play.
Well,
it at 1.
I suppose restricting Raijin to 1 would be more. It's that another layer of possible chance of getting Raijin. You know, it's a possible exciting part rather than a it's just going to happen sort of attitude.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I mean, and I know water can beat it handily, but when every other slower deck just dies to it, it's kind of not the best.
I get the salt. I do get the salt, but at the same time, I know that the game could potentially evolve from here on out, and I hope it doesn't go in the way of super fast games, because we kept complaining about the super fast games in the past couple of sets.
That's the worry, is like you can't increase the power of the game without making it faster.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to.
I keep memeing that there's so much hype for aggro because people just hate the game and want the games to be over fast. But I think people actually don't want that. Which is why it's really weird that loads of people are playing it, because it's this is kind of hypocritical as a big Knights player, but playing Mono Water, it's actually just fun to play the game and not have my games be over in 4 turns.
Yes,
yes,
exactly.
So it's even if you think it's less powerful, even if you, I don't think this, but if you think that Chaos is stronger than Water, you're playing less game. I'm here because I want to play the game, not because I just want to just win in 2 turns.
FFTCG in our locals, that when they're nearly every time till closing time, you watch most of the TCGs, they play their Swiss out and then most of them leave.
Yeah.
Because they've got this money, is my investment in this TCG giving me a payout, and they're very, very competitive. Also they don't look like they're having fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing about FF. I think the majority of the community are there for fun first, and then anything else they get is an after effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went to Winter Cup not even expecting to make top cut. The fact I made top 16 was just complete bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. That's never been, in my eyes, the sort of reason for going to Winter Cup, because one, as much as prizing is
it's
negligible.
the fun tournament, and it's probably the best tournament as well.
Yeah, in Europe for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had a great time. It's been a good. Been a good,
Thanks for joining us, folks. It's been a really nice, chill episode.
We have had talks of getting someone else as another guest on potentially. So I will definitely be fleshing that out and seeing if we can make it happen.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alfie, for joining us.
And let us know what your thoughts are in the comments about
Yeah.
any band stuff. We love talking to the fans. We love talking to the listeners.
Let us know if you guessed the card correctly, because I know for fuck's sake we
Yeah. I want you guys in the comments shaming these two.
yeah.
Card knowledge nerds.
And
unite.
and I hope Alfie's been a good replacement for Phil. Not replacing Phil at all, but he's been a solid solid voice on the podcast. So
I'd be happy to come back.
Yeah,
nice, cool.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. Next time win Winter Cup, and then you'll be back.
No pressure. No.
Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
That's the only.
When you win Worlds, we'll absolutely have you on.
Yeah. If anyone's seen the map that Alfie's got, he's definitely manifesting.
So, I respect it. I love it.
So thank you very much for sticking around. It's been a long one, but hopefully we'll see you guys, and then maybe at the winner box or something else that we're planning.
We'd
Big
love to
events
see it.
coming up. So
Bye-bye.
bye.
See ya.